said she hate me. I've been feeling like I'm dead tracing my great deeds. She's saying that she love me and she wanna be my baby.
As an artist and as a person, as an artist, I'm JB Vibes. Reason I have that name, I bring a lot of vibes to the table. You want some sad stuff, you want some happy stuff, you want some just in your feels in general of any emotion. I bring that all versatility wise to the music. Me as a person, it's hard to explain, but if I could break it down to a couple of words, is creative. I'd say just well rounded, very open with a lot of people. I'm always open to new opportunities, meet new people and stuff like that.
What do you want to be remembered for as an artist?
I want to say what I want to be remembered for as an artist would be like leaving an impact on people, whether it's mentally, whether it's physically, whether it's through a song that like somebody can hear it and understand like in a certain situation that they're not alone. They're not the only ones going through it.
So I feel like a lot of consistent problems in the industry is the music not necessarily being fact, like it not being true, like not something exactly as it was said, and it's exaggeration. We do it creatively, we do it to get to the best of our ability. So sometimes, like, what do you have to say to people that say that like certain ways that you talk in music are negative, or certain ways that you talk in music aren't the way that you're coming across? They're not beneficial in the way that you want it to be.
I mean, I think in that sense, when it comes to creativity, I think when we want to express an emotion, sometimes we exaggerate the truth a little bit, just to have more reach to certain people. Like make them really think about like the things that we're saying to break it down, because if they're willing to actually hear the music, then they should be willing to like break down the message behind everything. And if we give them double entendres, it makes them really question and wonder like, what is this as an artist, like what are they really trying to say, like what's the message behind what they're putting out in front of us.
Well, I'll say one thing I always have had a lot of problems with is purposefully going after a certain emotion in a song, because sometimes you just feel the beat and you just go with that beat.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that you're sad or happy in the moment. It's just like it fits
it's
more to the theme of the style.
The energy that you get from like certain beats can like make you feel.
Do you think
we're getting a mindset?
Do you think that takes away from the end product at times? Like when you don't like, because I've made good songs that were borderline meaningless, but then I've made songs that were very meaningful. They just weren't good songs,
Yeah.
So there's got to be that balance, right? Like it's like it still has to be a high level quality product, regardless of if you're going to go the direction of it being very meaningful or it just being a lot of bullshit in general.
Yeah.
And do you have trouble gauging the difference? Because you've made so many songs. So do you have trouble kind of like, I'm just in the flow of, I'm bored, I'm making music right now? Or it's like, there's specifically something that happened that I need to get off my chest. Let me fucking go in there with the direction of I need to talk about this.
No, I definitely say I definitely struggle with that from time to time. There'll be times that I've like gone through a situation in a sense, and the way I planned on attacking it whilst doing a song sometimes isn't always the outcome that I'm expecting. And half the time, like you were saying, it could be the general sense of like, I had a thought and an emotion in my mind, but as soon as I heard the beat, the whole energy just kind of changes sometimes. So I think at the end of the day, yeah, I feel like too, as an artist, for anybody that's an artist, I think sometimes that, the beats are really what pushes the artist to become more creative, because it makes you like want to like match the energy of beats and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think when it comes to emotion's going to be way more powerful. So if that's, if you're going to want to lean more towards like an emotional song, I think you want to really focus more on what you're actually saying versus how it sounds. Okay. Now, I'm not discluding the fact that like sound is not important at all. I think that's really important because, if you have a terrible sound but like good meaning behind it, still people aren't going to really listen to it. But if you got a good sound and a good message, then people like really get attentive of like what you're saying and like how you're saying it, what tone.
Do you think places that you've been in your life have a bigger impact on shaping like in your environment? Do you think your environment has more of like a reason for why you are the way that you are, or do you think it's more likely that it's the people that you've been around in your life?
I want to say it was a little bit of both for me growing up. Just because like I had a supportive family behind me. I was also like adopted, so like I'm the youngest of 8 kids. So being the youngest, like it has its perks, it has its downfalls. So it's like older people, older brothers and sisters in the family, half the time, like you're the last one to leave the nest in that sense. Like they don't really believe in you as much because, they already got kids or, so on and so forth. And they're like, as a kid, sometimes you don't got your shit together. And as you get older, you start to like piece life a little bit more day by day. But like in the vision of like family members, like sometimes they don't really see that. And it's funny that you bring that up because my sister, she had a baby shower. And it was funny because one of my second oldest brothers, he was asking my mom about the apartment that I've been at. And I've had this place for about 7 years now. And which is crazy to think about. But he was like asking her like if she was helping me out with the rent or like stabilize. And she was like, no, I've been holding it down. So I think that was like, it wasn't really much of a surprise, but it was like a happy side for him that like he saw that like I am capable of like getting my stuff done and holding down like my own stability in life. There's gonna be up and downs regardless though, but yeah.
Where have you traveled to?
Ooh, traveled or lived? Because
both. I want to know both.
So, I've been in Germany before. Never lived there. I actually lived in Turkey, overseas in Europe, for about like 5.5 years. My dad, he was in the military over there, and my mom did like missions work with the church that we were part of.
So what are Turkish high school sports like?
Pretty much soccer. That's it. That's really kind of all they have over there. That's like their main sport.
How old were you when you were in Turkey?
I was still in my single digits. I was like probably about 5, and I moved back to Texas, or I moved here in 2011. So I was about 10 when I moved here, 10 or 11. So from like I would say like 4, from like 4 to up until like 9, I lived in Turkey.
So, knowing that you were there for 4, 5, 6 years,
mm-hmm.
What are some experiences that you had there that wouldn't be possible here?
Oh, and I'll say this with the honesty. I see why so many different countries don't really like the U.S. just because when I lived in Turkey, I mean, the food, the culture, the people in general, just like amazing as fuck. And, there's still days that I wish, that I was still there, and I miss the scenery of it. But like, I saw him like, just going back to the memories, it just kind of like brings me back to a happy place, in that sense. But, I would say that like the thing that wouldn't be possible like here versus when I lived there is just, if I'm going back to like my childhood, is the innocence and like the care of like not having to worry about anything. Here, when I got here, I was old enough to like have my own responsibilities and stuff like that, and stuff that I had to do. So, but I think just the happiness that's over there, like there's a lot of poverty in Turkey, and if you were to like base everyone's like income just off of their emotions, you would have thought they were like the richest people, because their spirits were always high. They were never complaining about anything. And the stuff that they could have complained about is like, in the sense of like homelessness, not even having a house, not having, food to put on the table. So I don't know. I think reaching genuine happiness is not possible in the U.S. as much as if it's in Turkey. Because
Really?
there was a lot more happiness I saw when I lived there versus here. Because there's a lot of like greed, there's envy here in the U.S. Like you see somebody driving a nice car, your first thought is, oh, they're doing great for themselves. And they're like, damn, I wish I had that. I wish I was put in a position to get to where this person's at. It's never about being happy with what you got.
Yeah.
So I think that was like, I think in general, U.S. has a big problem with that. I think that's just common.
So is that what motivates you?
In life in general?
Yeah.
I mean, I strive to like put myself around people that are going to appreciate what, what they built family wise, what they built like business wise, stuff like that. I mean, it's definitely my motivator because I want to see everyone else around me be happy and be prospering.
Is that your biggest motivation?
I wouldn't say it's my biggest motivation, but it's definitely within the line of one of the motivations that I have.
What's your biggest motivation?
Honestly, music. Music's always been my biggest motivation. It's got me through depression. It's got me through a lot of things in my life, ups and downs. And like anytime, and this I speak for a lot of artists, like it's therapy. It really is what it is at the end of the day. And it's a place of peace where like if you're just had a stressful day, like I'll sit down and just listen to music. I'll like mix and master stuff, or I'll just sit there and record stuff. I think that's reason is my biggest motivation is because it brings so much peace in my life. And I think the moment that you find that kind of outlet and that kind of peace in your life, you always want to keep it around. So
what would you say your biggest strengths are as an artist? And not only as an artist, but as a person?
As an artist, I think my biggest strengths, honestly, as an artist, is like really bringing people together in the sense of like whether it's collaborations, whether it's impact on listeners. But as a human, I don't know. That's tough. I mean, I would say that kind of goes hand in hand, music and life, because of how much that music is part of my life. That it basically rewatch. He was eyeing it down. No, but genuinely, I do think music and within music and life, I think it goes really hand in hand for me. And I know a good amount of artists would say the same. Yeah.
Well, I've noticed that this year you've taken a little bit of a different approach, and you've been a lot more focused on being consistent with content and with getting music out and posting more. What stopped you from doing that in the past?
I think there were a few things. I don't think in the past I wasn't necessarily as confident with my music that I have out or that I've made in general. So I think that was like my biggest blockade. And then I think too, as an artist, I think, if you are an artist, I think personally you can relate within the sense that like afraid of like rejection in the sense of like someone, does not mess with your music or someone just completely like dumps on it, and you spend time and sometimes money just putting, work and so much into a certain song that it's like for someone to just shit on it, like makes you not want to like have it out there for people to go shit on it. You just want to keep it to yourself. It's kind of like a creation that you make. It's a little baby of yours that like you brought into this world and now like you hope the world accepts it in a sense. So I think acceptance and rejectance, I think is like one of the main reasons why so many artists actually don't put out their music.
Well, here's the question. If somebody else says their opinion about your music, does that change the opinion you have?
Oh, no. I don't. I mean, it shouldn't. There has been times that it has where people's like opinion about a certain song, whether it came down to the message, whether it came down to the mix and master of it, or just the quality in general. I'm not gonna say it hasn't affected, but I feel like now since I've been doing it for so long, and I have other people in my life that support the music that I do and actually like enjoy it, I think I've kind of come out of my shell just a little bit more.
I completely disagree with that thought process. I have the opposite thought process. Mm-hmm. My thought process is you're either in or you're out. Fuck those motherfuckers. I keep every receipt. I keep every fucking receipt. Because when I post a fucking album that makes me $100,000, and when I post a show that breaks the internet, and when I get to work with every celebrity artist that I've been a fan of as a coworker in the future, every single time someone was like, "Oh, this song's ass. This song's ass. Whatever," all I'm gonna say is, "Watch me work.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
And I want you to flip to that mentality, bro. It's all about seeing yourself grow and not being complacent, but being able to give yourself a position to watch the world grow around you and with you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in that mindset of, oh, well, this song is not as good as the next one's going to be, or this song or that song, guess what? You're never going to drop anything because you're always going to be in the mindset of, I can be better than this. I can be better than that. So what you got to do is you got to, guess what? Just because I'm not, just because if you go to the gym, right, you work out one day and you're not jacked the next day, you stop working out.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
It's going to take time. I mean,
you know what I mean?
Anything
like,
that you chase
anything.
take time.
Like, is there a single thing in your life you've ever done one time and you were the greatest in the planet? Okay, so if that's the case, if there's never been a time ever when you walked for the first time, were you walking?
No, I was falling. I was getting back up.
When you drove for the first time, were you comfortable?
For a little bit.
As comfortable as you are now?
No, most definitely not.
When you talked to friends the first time, when you were a little ass kid, you're 5, 6, 4, 3 years old, did the conversation go as well as it did today?
No.
Okay. Did you control your temper as well as you did when you were a kid?
Most definitely not.
Okay, so if all these individual obvious emotions are growth dependent, would you ever get rid of the beginning of the journey?
No.
So why would you not allow your people to have an opportunity to experience that journey with you?
It's true.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's a good question.
If I know like music is a huge thing for you, and I'll shift this a little bit. I want to know what album that you've had that's affected your life the most.
I mean, I don't have any albums out at the moment, but like singles that I've released that's had effect on my life. I don't know. I mean, because with the stuff that I have out now, I think it's more based off of like showing that I have versatility in my craft. I'm not gonna call them the greatest songs in the world. I think they're just special in their own way, to me, and maybe to a few other people. Honestly, one of the songs that I do have that I think I've enjoyed the most is "Got You on Mine" that I actually did with you. Because it's funny actually how that song came about. Just because when I was working on it, I think it was, I want to say it was like beginning of 2024. That was like within January, and my idea was to release a song for Valentine's because I think it was it's more like a love song in a sense. But yeah. Valentine's came around. It wasn't really done to my acceptance of like it's a full project. And the first time that I met you, you came down to Texas, and you heard the song. You heard the feeling, the emotion behind it, and you immediately just like, hey, I actually got something for it. And then did your verse, did one take, and then we listened to it back, and it was gold after that. And then dropped it, and I feel like it's actually got some pretty good insight on all plats. So I can't really say I've had any songs that's like really like.
I just killed 2 flies, ladies and gentlemen. 2 flies. You have to understand that you got to understand. JB's favorite animal is a gnat.
Okay.
You have to learn.
You got to be all natty, right?
That's so bad. That's so bad. Well, I asked you about an album that affects your life, and you took it about your music. I was actually talking about anything in the industry. Is there any album that you've heard that genuinely helped you through a time? Like, is there something that specific comes to mind?
I feel like I want to say like going back as a kid. I can't remember the specific album, but it was one of Eminem's, and there were a few songs on there. I'm not gonna say every song hit me where it needed to, but pause. I mean on an emotional level. Like there's gonna be certain songs in an album that might not hit you, emotionally than others on the album. So, but I would say like growing up as a kid, like there were a few Eminem songs that could have been from other albums too, that like made me like really question life, really question myself as a person as well. Um, but I can't really think of like specific albums that I've like listened to that's like giving me motivation. I think I did. I don't think it's on my hand, but I got them. Yeah, I couldn't say that there's been a specific album. I think there's bits and pieces of songs from certain albums that I've like collectively like listened to, and I've had like impact off of those. Because I think artists in general throughout the world, a lot of them got impactful meanings and messages behind a lot of their songs.
So if they asked you to what album you're listening to for the rest of time, if you were left on a deserted island, you wouldn't even know what album to bring because you couldn't tell them what it's called.
No, hold on. I would say the new J. Cole album. I've been the Fallout. I cannot tell you that enough. That from work to work, after work, getting home, I'm out.
It's just been on.
It's just been on.
What's your favorite song on the album?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to say "Run a Train." Number one is gonna be.
Of course, "Run a Train's your favorite. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Okay. Fourth thing, I think "What If." What If is definitely.
I'm obsessed with "Love Her Again."
Okay.
Oh my god, it's so good, bro. That's literally me in hip hop music. Every time I try to make some shit that's like more like vibey, then I'm like, you know what's calling my name right now? Some fucking, just some fucking, like I just want to fucking, you know? I just want to let it rip sometimes.
Pause.
How?
Can't be letting it rip everywhere you go.
Sometimes you just gotta shoot. Shoot.
You gotta shoot like a crop duster. Just gotta let it out.
I don't know what the fuck your shit's shooting out, but I ain't shooting
Talk
blanks,
about crop
bro.
dusting. Talk about stanking up the area.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is, for me, I actually had a psychedelic experience where I was looking over a hill onto a town. I was standing there and I was thinking about the future. I was thinking about Raw Creatives. And I was like, what this could be, what this will be. And what I realized is I know what I want the most professionally.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yes, I want the platform. Yes, I want the ability for my voice to be meaningful. Yes, I want to be able to reach communities and build build fans and build an army and take over. That's also true. But what I really want more than anything is to be the person responsible for the sound. Mm-hmm. And that's everything. That's music, it's content, it's comedy, it's everything. I am the background noise in the room. I am the reason that thing sounds the way it sounds.
Yeah.
And this group is as much mine as it is everybody else's. Mm-hmm. That's the whole thing that's cool. So not any person that's in this group has to represent me as much as I represent them.
Yeah.
So if any of us stray and we don't represent ourselves in the best way, that affects all of us negatively. Mm-hmm. So something for me that I've had to be heavy on my moral scale with is sometimes when I say certain things, I have to be careful the way that I say them. Because I know a lot of people might agree with me, disagree with me, but that doesn't mean they want people to know that that's where they stand. Mm-hmm. So when I speak for Raw Creatives, I don't necessarily remember all the time that I'm not just speaking for Trevor.
Yeah.
So
you're representing other people.
With that said, when it goes back to what I was saying with the sound, that's everything. It's music. It's movies. And when it comes to movies, if we blow up, mm-hmm. who you want playing you in a movie? Like I'm talking, you got the documentary, the fucking biography of JB vibes. You're 100 years from now, you've passed away. Not 100 years now, but like I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying you're not there. You know, they could put anybody in the movie who you want it to be.
To play as B?
Yeah.
Probably say Shane Gillis. Bruh. Closely.
You got so hurt the last time you got compared to Shane Gillis, bro. And then you just gonna lean in, bro. Hey, Shane. If you need a jabroni for tires, it's your man. He'll do some weird shit on camera for you.
Not gonna claim that. I ain't claiming that now. No.
Oh my god. All right. Well, what's a you got a movie scene that sticks with you to this day?
Movie scene that sticks with me. Ooh. I mean, I was always a big Marvel guy growing up. That and Transformers. But I want to say specific movie. I want to say like the original Iron Man.
That's a movie. What scene?
No, I know. Like when he was stuck in the cave and he like got out and made his suit from like fucking scraps that he had. Like I think in the sense like yeah, I think people were always like, oh, you know, he's a billionaire philanthropist or whatever it is. Philanthropist.
Try again.
Playboy in a sense. He's billionaire playboy. Okay. People really didn't. I feel like they didn't really give him props for his creativity. I mean, he literally fucking used scraps to build armor, weapons, to escape out of the imprisonment.
I thought you were gonna say, "You killed my father, you son of a bitch."
Nah, but I think I definitely would say original Iron Man when he was getting out of the cave, because I mean, it kind of reminded me of MacGyver. I used to watch like a lot of old school kind of like TV shows and shit growing up, and like just being able to like use the shit around you in your environment to like help you move, I think could be translated in life. You know, just because you have certain friends, like you don't have friends for benefits. You know, you don't have them around because you know you can get something off of them. I think you have friends in like around you to like help each other grow in certain different like areas in your life. You know, maybe you and your homeboy, you know, visually see like a car crash. Like it affects the both of y'all. And I think as like a friend group in general, you see certain things happen. I think it affects you, and I feel like that will like grow your bond with certain people like a lot stronger. But yeah, I think going back to the whole Iron Man, I think it's because of the creativity. I think I like definitely like relate with that. You know, like you can literally build something crazy out of nothing.
You got a character in a movie that you like kind of like self-align with?
That's a good question. I haven't really thought about that before.
You could say no. You could say I don't have one.
I mean, are you talking about his like a specific person's? Like...
Well, I'll give you mine. For me, like I've always kind of like identified with like Mike Ross, because he's really smart, but he's also arrogant, and like he tries really hard, but a lot of the time, like his like confidence gets him in trouble. Mm-hmm. You know, he's like over the top, and then I find it really interesting in life in general. Every person sees you in a different way. And when you watch a TV show, you see an intimate moment of somebody's life that you very often don't see. When you're dating somebody, you don't see them every day when they go to work.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't see them every day when they're at their mom's house having a one-on-one conversation, right? But when in a TV show, you have the ability to admire and almost disrespect somebody because of the way they carry themselves in a situation you wouldn't have. Yeah. Right? But that's unfair, because in reality, that's not how life works. Sometimes you're going to say something to appease someone else in a room, but you're playing both sides, and it's just easier. It's not that you actually feel that way. It's like every time you have a conversation with your mom, you don't want to have a 30-minute argument. Yeah, so sometimes you just tell her what she wants to hear and you get out the room, and things get taken out of context, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, Mike Ross isn't a perfect example of that, because he gets caught in both sides. So people that watch the show are like, oh, well, he's either just this super genius that's just never fucks up and saves the day every time, but he also fucks up a lot. He also fucking gets in hard situations because his ego gets in the way, and he does dumbass shit when he's so smart. Yeah. And he overreacts and he overattacks, and then he's like, "Oh shit, I have to fix this now." Yeah. And so for me, it's kind of deep. Like I self-align with that because he's well spoken and he can act like he's just a normal person. But when you get under and you dig a little bit on his character, bro, that dude's a fucking super genius. He says some wicked shit. So that's kind of like, I don't know. That's what I wish that I could do. Like I wish I could be in that mindset of just like get into that. I can fix any problem. I can create the narrative I need life to be. If that makes sense.
I mean, I know this is like sounds more like on the funnier, like happier, I guess, side of the scale, but like I say, like Jack Black for me. I just like being the life of the party. I like to keep people laughing. You know, even if it is some corny stuff, you know, whether it's just being the butt of the joke in general, you know, because growing up, you know, you deal with like bullying and stuff. You tend to like shrug shit off. You stop caring about what people think, and so just being to get to like be the reason why people get happy or are genuinely happy on a daily basis, I think brings me joy. So that's why I say Jack Black for me.
Fuck Jack Black. Anyway, so I've asked you some hard hitting questions, but I want to have a little bit of time here to ask you a personal question.
Okay.
And I ask everybody this on the show, and I'd really like to know: would you rather have a gay son or a thought daughter?
Is there a possibility I can analyze the reasonings why?
Go ahead.
Okay. I think I wouldn't want to have a thought daughter. Not saying I want to have a gay son, but if it's come down to the choices, I would probably say gay son, just because there's always a possibility that he can become a great person, even though you don't genuinely agree with certain things, you know, or certain people that he brings around. But regardless, if you have a thought daughter, it's not a characteristic that you could ever try to change, you know. When you are putting it out, when you're a thought, you're always going to be thought, you know. That's just how it is. So, I'd probably say gay son, because a thought daughter will respectfully never be anything.
I have a very similar thought process. I think that the thing is, if I have a gay son, that doesn't mean he's not going to be a successful man.
Yeah.
Right? And I want to say this very clearly. You, as my children, you could do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
But that means that you're still going to have a standard that you're held to.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to be a fucking doctor, if you want to be a fucking scuba diver, if you want to be a fucking bus driver, be a bus driver.
Yeah.
But be the best.
Yeah.
Fucking hold yourself to a standard. And every day come to work with a smile on your face. And every day benefit the people around you. I could care less who the spouses of my future kids are. Mm-hmm. But what's most important to me is that they have the standard of the right name.
Yeah.
They have a respect for other people's time. And they have a respect for other people in general, regardless of class. Because I'm going to forever live in a paradigm where my children are going to be very lucky. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make sure they understand that. I'm going to make sure that they have an opportunity to give back to the world. And they have an opportunity to, with what I create for them, they could take that and run with it in any direction they want. Yeah. Because I'm going to give them any opportunity. On the other side, once your daughter is known as promiscuous, it's immediately blamed on the father. I don't want to weigh the burden of my daughter being a failure in the eyes of society forever.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not going to live my whole life knowing that I was a bad father, because one thing about me is I will be a good parent. I will be someone that is there for my kids. I will be someone that will provide and make sure everything is good and keep them safe.
Yeah.
I'll never. I think I care more about kids than this music thing working.
Oh yeah.
And that's something that I want more than anything.
You know, it's your future.
I want a big family. I come from a big family. I have 4 siblings. I'm the oldest of 5. I come from a big family. I have a lot of cousins that are young. I have a lot of aunts. I have a lot of uncles. I want to make sure that I can create the next dynasty of Rays. Yeah. And I will not allow myself to not have that come to fruition.
Yeah. No, I like that. I think too, adding on to that, like, and I've seen this with MGK, and I actually heard him say this, and it was in the sense because he has a daughter, and so the way he described it was like when it comes to raising a daughter, like you always let her know that like you love her, because time comes that boys are gonna come hit on her. Like that's not gonna it's not gonna woo her. You know, you gotta like tell her the things that every other guy that's ever gonna come in her life is gonna say. So like they have to like live up to the highest of expectations. Sure. So I think that's another thing.
What do you think about the Princess Tate treatment? Like, what do you think about that? Like, he's like, I'm gonna treat my daughter so amazingly well, but the only thing is once she starts dating a man, it all goes. Mm. So you say, hey, not only do you have to pick very, very wisely,
yeah,
but if you don't pick wisely, there's consequences for your actions. Because I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think it's a little extreme.
Yeah.
I think maybe I think any person, if they get spoiled too bad, there's too many other conflicts with their character that become negative.
Yeah.
So I think there's a balance of. I
mean, too. There's always going to be discipline too.
Yeah. I mean, no one's saying there's not, but I'm saying that when they're good, you give them what they want, right? If you have it, why not, right? And you're kind of in that mentality of like, bro, we live on a beach in the Maldives. You know what I mean? And it's like, why wouldn't I just let them surf every day and let them eat good food and you know what I mean? So it's like, that is spoiling. Yeah. So it's like, okay, how do you balance that? If you do create generational wealth, right, in music and in content and in comedy, how do you find that balance? And I'm asking, I know I'm going to have conversations with famous people that have kids that have money at some point. I'm genuinely curious. How do you balance it? How do you balance your kids not being too much in the public eye, but still the public eye knowing they exist because they're your fans, they're your family. You still want your family to know that you have a child, but you don't want them to know anything about their everyday life. And the problem is, if you get to a certain level, they understand how famous you are.
And I think actually a good example for that is Adam Sandler and his kids, because when he did the recent movie Happy Gilmore 2, I watched like a lot of like behind the scenes like preview kind of stuff, and like, I mean, his daughters like are to a point like he makes sure that like they follow his standards to a T. You know, they don't just get away with something because he's famous and you know they can. You know, he holds them to a really high standard. So I think that's industry wise, whether it's like I said, comedy, whether it's movies, anything, like I think he's a perfect example. And too, like at the end of the day, you see him as a person too. He doesn't give a shit. I mean, he goes to the Grammys wearing basketball shorts and a hoodie. You think he really cares what the public thinks about him?
Not definitely does.
I mean, to an extent.
Everybody cares what they think. Everybody cares what people think. You don't get into media and not care about what people think. The thing is I'm the best example of that. I claim all the time I don't care what people think. I move through life unapologetically myself. But you don't think I want people to think I'm good? You don't think I want people to think my music sounds good? You don't think I want people to say, hey, you wrote that shit? That you came up with that? That joke you wrote? That shit was fire. That bar you spit, bro, that shit moved the whole room. You know? Yeah. I'm not going to change my whole life because I don't get the validation. Mm-hmm. That's what you're looking for.
I think what I was like his personal image. Mm-hmm. I'm like, just because he has money, I mean, I think this too, like, you know, people like J. Cole too. I mean, he could be driving a Lamborghini. He could be driving a Rolls Royce and everything. So like, but does he do that?
Damn, no, bro, you sound like you from Memphis.
What? I mean, I for a little bit, I did grow up in Memphis, but at the end of the day, like, just because you have money doesn't mean you need to visually show it.
When was the last time you made music?
Just the other day, actually. Nah, but I think too, because like a lot of people like, oh, like money can buy you happiness. Then why are like the rich people still not happy? And that goes for billionaires. That goes for millionaires. That goes for people that are high class. You know, in the sense of like they're a little above average within like the people in the middle. So I think at the end of the day, things, objects, cars, whatever it is, doesn't bring you happiness. You know, it's a temporary happiness. You get it, then you get used to it. So I think that goes same with life and lifestyles. You get rich, you're not gonna really think about, how much money's in the bank. You're not gonna worry about shit like that. But when it comes to your kids, like, yeah, you want to parent them. You want to actually be a good father, a good mother, whatever situation that you're in. That you want to pass down good character.
What does your future look like? How many kids do you want?
Still deciding that. I want to have kids of my own one day, but at the moment I just don't see it yet. Because I think it's just because I'm more focused on my craft. I want to focus on me. And I think if I start a family at this moment, I think, yes, there's going to be good in it, but it's going to hinder me from, like, pursuing what I need to pursue at the moment. And, like, you think about it on a deeper scale, like, men, we live on our financial clock. I mean, that's just how we are. That's how we're wired. Women, they're on a time clock. They want to have kids at this age. They want to have, they want to be retired. They want to do this or that, So I'm like, that's why I think a lot of times when it comes to relationships, when, like, a woman's like, oh, I want to have this many kids, it's not that us as guys, we're scared, like, we don't want a family, but I think it's more so the fact of, like, I'm not where I want to be financially. So I think for me personally, I think craft-wise, music-wise, and financially-wise, I don't have that stability at the moment. Once I do, then maybe I can make my decision how many kids I want, or what I want fair. In general. So fair. Yeah.
So this big, let's address this fucking black and gold logo sitting on our fucking desk.
It's a beautiful logo. It's a great logo.
It's an American logo. But I will say, you were a big part of this group becoming a group. You're a big part of the activity in the beginning, and still 7 years later, me being here in real fucking life. We haven't even spoken about that yet. I don't know if anybody knows the story. I'm sure someone's told that on the internet, but here it goes. I met this motherfucker on Yubo, the literal music app. It's literally an app to just have. It's not even a music app. It's literally just an app just to have conversations with people when you're bored.
It's on live streams.
And they used to have freestyle lives and talent shows, and we used to come in and make music with all these people. Crazy, insane that's what happened. And when you break it down for real, it's like consistency created our friendship, music created our friendship, but like-mindedness was probably the most important.
Yeah.
And we've built with two other people, a 50 to 200 member group at the same time throughout the country, traveled around, worked with different artists, flown around, flown each other out. Yeah. We've been in all types of different places, and this is all on the internet. And all I'm saying is if there's somebody out there that feels like that there's nobody that loves them, or that nobody that will show love, or nobody that will care about them, you're just looking in the wrong places. Because you could find a best friend anywhere. You could find a relationship anywhere. You could find good people anywhere. Yeah. But you have to risk getting hurt to find somebody that's great. And if you hide, if you sit behind your emotions and you say, I'm just going to be me, I'm going to do me, I'm going to work every day, I'm going to go home, and you sit in your solitaire, you're never going to find what you're looking for, man. And it fucking sucks. I put myself out there a lot this last couple of years. And yes, you don't have room for a million people in your life. But there's some people that are worth every moment of effort and every moment of negative that there is, because those are brothers, and those are the people you keep around for the rest of your life. As a human being, you're given a family, and you get to create a family. Because when you grow up, Christmas time at your house, you make the invite list. Who's gonna be there?
Yeah. And
for me, it looks a little bit different than other people. I've been at my dad's family's house my whole life on Christmas. One day I'm gonna have everybody come with me. One day I'm gonna say, no. The only way I'm coming to there is if X, Y, and Z can come with me, because that's my brothers and their family, and their wives need to come with, and their kids need to come with, because then that future dynasty is a different thing that it always could be. And that's what family is all about, is growing that and making it bigger and better.
Hell yeah. I believe that. We've come a long way, dude. It's insane.
I mean, I'll put it like this. I grew up in Chicago. Spent 22 years in Chicago. I told myself 7 months ago to the day that I will drive on January 2nd from Chicago to Memphis and then from Memphis to Austin. And I'm going to move in here and I'm going to chase my dreams. You can do it too.
Cheers to that, sir. Lone Star, sponsor us.
Where do you see this where do you see this group being in 5 years?
I see us in so many different ways. 'Cause I mean, at the end of the day, I think when this group started, yes, we were focused on music, but for what it is now, I think we've definitely built it like a family. So, I mean, I could see some of us. I mean, I know there's a few people, one individual that's in the group that's already got a family started. So, he's still going to be a part of the group no matter what.
Congrats, fucking Weevil.
Nah, for real. Congrats to Weevil. He's got a son on the way with him and his beautiful wife, or wife to be. So I'm proud of him. He's been through a lot, and more than I do of everything that he's been through. I mean, regardless, it's a family, but I mean, I could definitely see some of us, or a majority of us, moving out, getting a big crib, having like not any sort of like corny creative house. I think.
I want exactly that.
I mean, but I think in the sense of like it could be like we buy a plot of land, like a few acres, and we all each individually have our own place, and then there's a main big house.
I can see that.
Like like compound living in a sense. Yeah, there's like a headquarters where it's like there's a specific room for podcasting, there's a specific room for recording, there's a specific room for gaming, like basically. Literally compound living.
That's another thing I've been meaning.
A bunch of amenities.
Dude, how are you so fucking bad at every video game?
Because okay. Let me look. Because growing up, mind you, I am the youngest of 8. So I was adopted. So
it was never JB's turn on the Xbox.
No. Let me get this across. I didn't grow up like a 2000s kid. I wasn't really big into video games growing up. I was outside with the
eating
homies.
Snacks, sitting on beanbag.
No. No. Like dead ass. Like the whole like 90s kind of vibe of like having friends. Literally, you knew bro was over at his house because you saw the bikes in the front of the crib. Like I genuinely grew up like a 90s kid. I was born 2002, but I grew up like a 90s kid. So video games never really intrigued me. Like, there would be certain games where I was like, oh, it's a cool game. I play it for a little bit. I'm not the greatest at it because there's been people that's been playing since the fucking day it came out. So I'm just like, as you constantly keep losing, you're going to lose fucking interest. That's just how it is. So growing up, I was never really big into video games. So that's the reason why I'm not great at video games. Okay, I don't invest my time.
We have that explanation. So now I want to know this. I want to know. Who's your hero? Ooh. If you have.
That's a good question. I've never really thought about that. Because I know the typical answer is my dad, but my dad, he ain't shit. So. Honestly, you know what? I'm going to say my mom. My mom has been my hero. She's been my day one supporter since 6 months of me being on this earth. She took me in. She took me out of a bad situation. Life is always going to come ups and downs. When I was like 9, my adopted parents, they got divorced. It was a mess. But at the end of the day, I mean, she stuck with me, thick and thin, no matter the situation. We come from 2 different generations, so of course we're gonna butt heads on certain things. We don't agree on certain topics. And I've spoke to her about this too. I'm like, because actually, in this apartment that we're in right now, like she and I used to live here together, and then she got remarried. She moved out, and like literally my relationship with her since she moved out has gotten like 100% better. And like I think having somebody around in your life 24/7, you're gonna have disagreements. You're gonna have this, and that like y'all are gonna butt heads on for certain. But like, I don't know. I think
especially because you are the biggest butthead of all time.
I can be, I can be at times. When I feel a certain way, I will speak my mind. Like I don't really. Nah.
Your name is R.C. Switzerland for a reason.
Okay, but I'm saying personal.
Explain it to the camera.
I'm saying personal within my family.
Explain R.C. Switzerland to the camera.
Okay.
Look at him.
The nickname R.C. Switzerland came about within the group because, just like Switzerland, got beef with nobody. I don't start beef. I don't mediate the beef. Well, no, I mediate the beef sometimes. There's been times where I have. But I don't consume myself with stupidity and beef that does not need to happen.
Because he's already full from lunch.
Shut the fuck up, you idiots. Gotta put my whiskey down for that shit. Hold on. No. Fuck breakfast, fuck lunch. I only eat dinner, bitch. Nah. Cabo Bob's. Shout out.
Cabo Babs.
Sponsor us, Cabo.
Please.
Bro, Cabo Bob's, if you sponsor us, I will be happy as hell.
He almost said some crazy shit, Cabo Bob's.
Whoa!
Might have to cut that out, but we're keeping it in.
We're gonna keep it in, because fuck it.
What's wrong?
Cabo Bob's.
So, your mom shaped a lot of your mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's your hero.
Yeah.
This group is something that's gonna benefit everybody that you love. I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it's gonna benefit everybody that I love as well. What has this group done for you in the time that you've been a part of it?
I think main and number one on my list for this, I'd say like brotherhood at the end of the day. I think that's important, whether it's through your early years, through your teenage years, through your adult years. Brotherhood in all forms is important for life. And I feel like the moment that I've been a part and been associated with this group, I felt nothing but love from everyone and every individual that I met. And on top of that, the new members that have came in, I've got to be that like big brother in a sense where I take them under the wing and like teach them or talk to them in general. So like I think it's molded me to be the person that like my mom wanted me to be, because like my like actual name is Josiah, and actually it's a biblical name, and in the Bible it's like King Josiah. So and it's funny too because like every single day, it was back in middle school too, because my mom used to drop me off, and she'd always say, "Be a leader, not a follower." And like in that moment, you know, I didn't really think about none of it. Like, you know, I had friends. I had a friend group back in middle school that I always ran with. But like, I think it really led into my adult years that I've like really took that to heart, and in the sense of like genuinely be a leader. Like, you know, if it's somebody's going through a certain thing, I've had plenty of fucking conversations with a lot of people in the group, 1-on-1, hours, FaceTime or call, whether it is. And I'm like, I feel like I genuinely have been able to impact some of the people mentally and emotionally in the group too. And, you know, Lord knows that I fucking needed that in the times that I dealt with shit. And, you know, so I think at the end of the day, God's always going to put you in position to have certain people in your life. And at the end of the day, the people that aren't supposed to be in your life, he's not going to keep around for too long. So, I think within the group, kind of swinging back to it, brotherhood has always been the biggest part for me. Just being to have an emotional connection with a lot of the people that you meet. And I think, too, that transpires into music. Because if you can't have the same mental mindset as somebody in the group, that doesn't make you not compatible with that person in the sense of a friendship.
It's true.
It means that y'all have different views. You know, like for you grew up Jewish. And, you know, within a Jewish community, within a Jewish family. I grew up in a Southern Baptist household. So you and I, we're going to have a little bit of a different views on certain things. But at the end of the day, you and I see eye to eye on a lot of things that happen in this world.
It's true.
And, you know, I don't enjoy getting into political, but you and I see in a very much similar political view as well. And, you know, I'm not going to put it out there, but I will just say that.
JB loves politics.
I don't like politics. I like to veer away from politics because it causes drama.
So anyway.
But,
what do you think about Trump's new name for Kamala?
Actually, I haven't heard it yet. What
Kambala.
Akuna Kamala. Oh, I'm dead.
I do know.
Means no worries.
So I want to shift back to music a little bit here.
I will be honest. This whiskey's hitting right now.
I'd like to hear that. I want to know, you make a lot of R&B music. One of the few artists in the group that aren't necessarily just considered rappers. Mm-hmm. What effect do you want to have on the R&B scene here in Austin?
You said what effect do I want to have,
yes.
Or what effect do I have? Do I want to have? Mm-hmm. I mean, I think alone in Austin, and you know, like Austin in general is known as like the music capital. But like you think about places like Atlanta, you know, like what kind of music do you really like think comes out of Atlanta? A lot of hip hop. A lot of hip hop comes out of there. New York. Gutter music. You know, in New York, you think about a lot of trap. You think about a lot of drill. You know, so I'm like, in different areas, you know, there's going to be different sounds or concreted sounds within that area. I think my thing too, like within Austin, I didn't plan to be in Austin. I just so happened that like my parents chose to move here, and I think it was like meant to be. It was meant to happen. But like within Austin in general, like we have places like South by Southwest that happen, you know, events that happen, ACO, and just all around. Like there's open mics like almost every time you go downtown, you'll hear some sort of music going on, live music, whether it's DJs down there, whatever.
I have a challenge for you.
Well, let me
finish it.
I'll finish up real quick. But I think it's the diversity that music wise that's here in Austin. So like, I've heard country music out here. I've heard rock music out here. I've heard, you know, slow kind of like two-step kind of certain songs out here. So I think within the R&B section, within like the music, I think that there is so many other like genres that are happening out here in Austin. Like R&B, there's shit that's out here that's R&B. Maybe might not be as much R&B out here than it is like country or hip hop or, you know, like country music in general. Because I mean, it's Texas, you know, it's cowboy, you know, cowboy country right here, football country. But I think I generally think that if I'm just putting on for the city, if I'm putting on for the state, there's not too much R&B that's really out here. So for me personally, I feel like if I genuinely become a full-on R&B artist, you know, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I feel like I would get recognized more heavier out here in general, just because that scene's really not fully out here.
It's not fully tapped into.
It's not fully tapped into. So, you know, it could be definitely something that like people are like, oh shit, there's an R&B artist out from Austin, Texas. Like, you know, you think about R&B. I mean, there's R&B artists that came out of Atlanta. There's R&B artists that came out of Cali. There's R&B people that came from New York. So I'm like, being able to like diversify yourself around different genres of music, and like that's me. Like the moment I started getting into music, like I grew up singing. I grew up in choir, like in the church, and then the middle school popped around, and then like I got big into hip hop, and so like I think that throughout growing up, like my style of music has changed to the point where I was like, as an artist, why choose to be a one genre artist? If you can do all this, and that, and mix it together, have a beautiful like fucking harmony within everything that you do, then why limit yourself to do only one genre?
I agree. That was an excellent piss.
Indeed it was, brother. Indeed it was.
So I want to know this. If you could work with any artist, dead or alive, and make a full album, who would you work with? What would you call the album? And what would the first song in the album be called?
All right. Let me break this down. I'm still thinking about the what the album cover and album song is gonna be called. But I'm gonna have to say Mac Miller. Because I mean, like growing up when I listened to him, I think I've like music wise, I've like been more in tune with him as a rap artist in general, or just an artist all in all. Just because I think he and I have very similar mindsets of like just putting out vibey shit, just like making the world a happy place. And but album name,
JB Vibes. Feat Mac Miller.
Nah. Because I feel like with him, I mean, I got to give him most of the credits.
No, it's your album.
Oh, it's my album featuring him? Oh,
yeah,
okay. I say the album would be called "The World Is Not All Sunshine and Rainbow."
Oh, okay.
Because
now what? You gonna have a picture of a sunshine in black and white?
Hey, I mean that could work though. Because I mean,
or you're just gonna have an LGBTQA.
No. Don't get it twisted.
Hey, remember, Trevor, put a picture of the LGBTQAI plus flag with a picture of JB's face right here.
No,
like this.
No.
All right, thank you, appreciate you. I'll remember.
Nah, because I mean, at the end of the day, as much as an artist like him and myself, as much as like love and energy that you can put back into the world and give to the artists and the fans, at the end of the day, the world is not a happy place half the time. So I think within the album, there can be songs about, all right, a certain situation happens, you happy, but at the end of the day, you know, there's gonna be cons to pros and pros to cons.
I agree.
So I'm like, all right, you know, it's a negative way to think about, something you like. You have a family, but one day your family's all gonna die. Like not, in a horrific way, all natural like causes kind of situation, but it's like, at the end of the day, death, taxes is up for certain, but it's like it matters what you do in between that path.
Of course,
the memories that you make, the people that you meet along the way, and like that's literally can only be fucking directed back to life. Like who knows? If my life went a little bit differently, I might have never met you. I might have never met a lot of people in my life.
Sure.
And I think bad shit has to happen in life. Obstacles have to happen in life for you to be able to shape your character and be the person that you are supposed to be at the end of the day.
I do want to speak on this. I think that in general, it's a lot of people with their mentality in life spend too much time on the things that aren't good, not enough time giving credit to the things that are.
Yeah.
And I'm not even trying to be, I'm not even trying to be insensitive. The world has negatives. No one's saying it doesn't. No, but sometimes you're at your best ignoring this.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're at your best saying, control what you can control. Be the best version of who I can be today. Right? Because sometimes you can't give 100%. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can give 80. Sometimes you can give 70. Sometimes you can only give 45. You know what I mean? When you have a day that's the case, you just need to make the most of that 45%. Right? If you are off work, well, treat yourself. If it needs to be something that's a benefit to you, it needs to be something that's like, we're just going to have a chill day. Go sit by the pool.
Yeah.
Go just have a chill day. Go get outside, have some fresh air, and chill out. But a lot of people are looking at that day like a net loss and take that for granted. Thank God I didn't have work today. Or can you just look at it like, I have a job. I get paid every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you could look at it, every negative thing can turn around. I don't take losses. I either win or I learn.
Oh, that's a good way.
I either win or I learn. So if you go through life with that perspective, bro, I tried to tell you this the other day. When I go to work, I drive a fucking Zamboni and I work at Domino's. When I go to work, no effort is lost. I'm not trying at my job. I do what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing what I'm required to do. I'm not going to get fired. But why the fuck would I go into a mentality of a job of passionately, aggressively being the best that I can be in a job I don't give a fuck about? I'm using to pay the bills of the rent. I'm using to pay the bills of my gas and the food and the generosities that I have given to people.
The music too. Shit helps.
So what I'm saying is, why I need the energy, I need the bandwidth to make music, to edit videos, to shoot content, to write videos like this one. If I have a job that's a construction job from 5 to 5 and I'm fucking dead afterwards and I want to sleep at 9 p.m., how the fuck am I going to do anything that I'm dreaming? So you need to adopt that, bro. You need to get in that wave of, I'm going to work today and it's not real. It's NPC activity. It is not real. You're going there to fucking be a robot. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. How can I take your order? Be bubbly, be stupidly fucking overly. Don't be yourself. Don't fucking overly exaggerate conversation with people. Just fucking do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're required of. Get tipped well. Be a fucking good bartender. And get the fuck up out of there and make some goddamn music. Yeah. If you go there every day on some, oh, my fucking coworker pissed me off today because this changed and this happened and this happened. Bro, I'm telling you, you're going to come home at the end of the night and say, I want to play fucking video games and drink 7 beers. You're not going to say, let's go in the studio and make 7 songs about the anger that I felt earlier that I didn't express. You know what I'm saying?
I think too. I mean, like, I definitely know where you're coming from. I mean, like, I literally fucking dealt with some bullshit the other day. And I was pissed off at my manager because I figured out last second that I had to work a double, which I thought that I had to get off at like 5. But to break that apart, a lot of times, like, I've actually, as a bartender, like, I've actually got the experience and the ability to, like, actually meet cool ass people through that. And sometimes it's just like, you know, having a conversation with somebody who sits at the bar.
No one's saying literally don't ever talk.
No, I'm not saying within that extent, but I'm just saying in the sense of, like, don't share your personal life or, like, you know, go in there with the NPC mindset. Sometimes that's hard for me to differentiate. Like, it's hard for me to set aside, like, I'm a very social person. And
so
like,
am I.
But, like, in the sense of, like, I will get deep with people.
That's fair, and that's fine. And I'm saying there's a huge difference between 2 girls that come to a fucking bar to have a couple of drinks with their friend, and they just want the bartender to bring them drinks and not talk to them. Yeah. And people that are purposely engaging with you. That's 2 different things. Okay. The majority of the time you engage with people in your job, you don't need to care. You could just be friendly. Just be like, hey.
Well, sometimes,
you know what I mean?
Sometimes it does come to that point where I actually do care. Because they're genuine, they're good human beings.
Well, I'm saying if you don't know, how do you know that? How do you know they're good people? You haven't talked to these people.
I have. I have regulars that come in.
I see what you're saying.
So I'm saying I've actually built a connection with these people.
I'm saying on a day-to-day.
Okay,
actions,
in a day-to-day,
if I were to
place, to a random
I'm saying
person.
If I were to place myself in your job.
Yeah.
Right? I've never met any of these people.
Okay.
My job and required service is to walk up, ask them what they want, do it to the best of my ability, and tell them have a good day at the end of the night. I don't need to be like.
I see where you're coming
from.
So
I'm saying when you have a person that's engaging you, be yourself. But I'm saying unless that's the case, don't fucking waste your bandwidth. Don't go out there.
I agree with that. I'm not gonna go fucking above and beyond for somebody. I genuinely
in the same way with a boss. Your boss's job is to make your life harder. Your boss's job is to say, I'm paying you for your time. And most of the time, you're not doing shit.
Yeah.
So when you're doing shit, you got to do it like this. So isn't it fair to think in your head before I don't give a fuck what my boss tells me to do or not to do because I'm just going to do it the way he wants me to do. So that way I have as little interaction with him as possible. And I can just make sure I do my job, get paid, pay the rent, and then go chase my fucking dream. Because I've known you for years, bro. And how many times you got home from work so mad that you didn't do anything?
A lot.
That's my whole point. So you can't let that become a thing. You can't come to home from work and say, man, my boss got on my nerves today, so now I'm going to hurt my own career path. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Fuck that. Do you want to work with that boss forever?
No.
Okay, so why is your mindset as angry as you should be that you're not a consistent artist in people's catalogs yet? Mm-hmm. You should be mad about that. You should be mad and saying, I have fucking better music than X, Y, and Z. Not, this fucker didn't fill this fucking margarita machine. Motherfucker, you're mad about bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to get mad about the fact that it took you 7 fucking years to drop music that's good.
Yeah.
You had good music the whole time. You were just like, they don't really need to hear my best shit yet, actually. Like, press play, motherfucker. How do you know that shit wasn't gonna make? But what if you dropped that bitch and you became a millionaire? You'd be happy, but there would be a part of you in the back of your mind that'd be like, fuck, I could have done this 3 years ago.
Yeah. I could have put my homies on.
And I seen what you're doing with the content, bro. You're trying shit. You're going out there and you're finally getting the balls to just post some shit, bro. And who cares what people say? How many hate comments have you gotten?
Not really any.
0! Because motherfuckers don't care. Motherfuckers don't care. People only hate greatness. And right now we don't have evidence of being great. We think we're great, but we don't have evidence of being great. Once we have evidence of being great, the hate will come. But why the fuck are you going to shut down an operation before the hate gets there?
That's true.
Bro, you haven't even gotten hated yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one's even told you to stop. When was the last time you heard someone told you that you weren't good? Be real.
I mean, off the top, I can't really think.
That's exactly my point. So if you can't remember how many people do you think go through life and get told they're bad at what they do every day?
A lot.
Okay. So consider yourself lucky that you have something. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many people don't know what their thing is, bro. You have that. Have gratitude for that, bro. Like, that's a big fucking deal. A lot of people don't even know what their life is. They don't know. They're like, yeah, I work as a barista. I fucking make $13 an hour in tips, and I live with my fucking boyfriend of 7 years, and that's my life.
Yeah.
Bro.
Some people don't know their fucking aspirations.
Bro, your lifestyle could be a completely different story in a year because you don't like the way your lifestyle is in 100% right now. You like parts of it, but you're like, bro, why the fuck do I have to do this, and that? Why do we have to live in this apartment? Why do we have to work at this job? Why do I have to be on another person's time clock?
Yeah.
Right? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? Why do I have to drive in traffic? Why do I have to drive to the construction? We could be in a city that's far more developed than this. We could be in a place that's far nicer than this place. We could be in a job stream that's far more enjoyable than this job stream. And we could be making much more of an impact on the society than we are today.
But at the end of the day, when it comes to you chasing what you want to fucking do, you gotta take baby steps. You can't just expect you to fucking post a song and then one day, or the next day, for that matter, for it to fucking blow up.
Yeah. But baby steps are baby steps. No steps are no steps.
That's true.
So I'd rather have someone trying to shoot for the stars every fucking day than someone never shoot at all.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And you could say whatever the fuck you want, bro. It was inexcusable that it took you as long as it did for you to try to get stuff out there. Because you could have spent 30 minutes and had 3 hours of content.
It's true.
You could have spent 30 minutes and just videos galore, songs galore. You have a fucking vault, bro. People don't have that. People don't have that utility to say, I have 500 songs on my computer that sound good. Mm-hmm. Let's show the world what I'm made. Let's let them judge you. Because let's be real, how often are you really scrolling on TikTok for real?
Not
How
very
often are you
much.
scrolling on YouTube Shorts?
YouTube and Instagram. I don't really
How
do
often though? How many hours a day?
like less than an hour.
Okay,
Actually.
so if you're spending a 24th of your day, less than that, a less than a 24th of your day, why the fuck are you going to let that creep into your mind more than the other 23 and a half hours in
That's true.
your day? Right?
Yeah.
Fuck that, bro. Who cares what other people think? And I'm not saying, oh my God, I don't want people to think I'm good. No. I'm not fucking retarded.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, who cares if people have negative opinions of it? Because how many times?
Why should that have
why
an
would
impact
you?
on my life?
Why would you want someone's opinion that you wouldn't want their lifestyle?
It's true.
If you know that for a fact that they're a homeless person, purposefully,
Yeah.
and they are not making money, and they do not have a vehicle,
And
and they do
have a
not have a
negative
dream,
opinion.
and they do not have an aspiration, and they do not have a fucking life, and they do not have money, and they do not have love for themselves or love for anybody else in their life, and they do not have a strong family unit.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck would you take their opinion into consideration?
I shouldn't.
Why would
That's
you?
really what it is. I shouldn't.
So assume that anybody that says anything negative about you, you wouldn't want their life. Because it's easier than going in and studying all their lives.
And two, at the end of the day, it's like when a lot of people like judge, especially like with hip hop artists, and I see it on a lot of different scales. But like, oh, like why do people talk about gun violence and this and that? I'm like, at the end of the day, you don't know what the fuck they went through. They don't know like the fucking house they grew up in, what kind of family they had. You know, like at the end of the day, a lot of times, and you know, as much as it sucks, you become a product of your environment. And so I think a lot of people judge certain people from an outward like point of view. It's like, oh, that's not how I would have fucking, you know, went about saying that. Just because you don't like so and so doesn't mean you got to talk about gun violence, talk about doing this, and that. So I think a lot of times it becomes a thing of opinion and point of view. Because a lot of people, like within the hip hop community, like I said, you know, they had to do a lot of, you know, not necessarily good things or, you know, legal things to, you know, get where they're at now.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they put fucking food in their plate. At the end of the day, they feed their families.
So, I'm looking at my notepad and I only have one last question. Knowing what you know now, what changes would you have made in the past?
So, recircling back to how I grew up, the person I am now to this day, I think with the struggles and everything that I've been through in the past, I don't think I really would change anything in the sense of growing up, of having to deal with divorce with my family and getting taken out of a bad situation with my biological parents. Because at the end of the day, I genuinely stand on the saying of like everything happens for a reason. Because if I was to go back and change the fact that I didn't get adopted, my life would look completely different. If I had to change the fact that like my adopted dad did some messed up things in the past and that affected me within, no, it didn't happen to me physically, but affected because he wasn't in my life, I wouldn't change any of that. Now, I think the only thing I would change to this day is having more confidence in myself and in my music to not care what anybody thinks about what I put out and only care about how I feel about the art, the creativity, my mindset, and everything else, etc., that comes behind that. So, like, because in the sense of like, yeah, you know, I was put in a bad situation. I got a bad, you know, card dealt to me. Now, either you can deal with it or you can work with what you got at the end of the day. So, going back to that, I'm like, what I would have liked had to have a dad like present in my life, like a father figure. And, you know, as much as I can say, yeah, like my brother, like when I was back in 6th grade, like he helped me start, you know, a lawn care business in 6th grade. Like what other family members can you say, or anybody else say, have like actually been there present in your life to like give you that tough love that you genuinely need, but you in that moment don't think, hey, this is like, that's bullshit.
100%.
Like, why are you trying to be hard on me because X, Y, and Z and whatever. So I think whatever has happened in my life to this moment and to this point is all happened for a reason. If I go back and change that, never would have met you. Never would have been a part of RC. Never would have been the person I am today. Never would have known like the knowledge. For all that matters, I might have never been a musician. I've never been an artist. If I go back and want to change any of that. But I will say, in the fact of like having more confidence in what I'm doing and what I'm saying and putting out to the public to see. I think it all that wraps around to that. I think that would honestly be the only thing I would change. So that's what I'll say for that question, though. Yeah.
JB vibes. It's been a hell of an interview. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, sir. Cheers. Love you, brother.
Absolutely. I love it too.
Usually I end these shows doing a little collaboration between me and the guests, but y'all was blessed to hear us on the intro together, so I figured it makes more sense to hit a little freestyle. Yeah, okay. Prodigy is here chilling with the vibe. Understand I'm really out of here, I'm living out my life. Got a better bitch, I'm sorry, I never take a dive, cause it's still my time to drive. Yeah, scoot over, let me drive. I've been smoking gas, and I'm running like the Flash. Getting bread, getting cash, yeah, I keep it in my stash. Now I'm whipping on my dash, understand it's on the last. I've been chopping with her at a leader way, I'm bound to blast.
Cause I hit this shit with passion. Sipping on the jack, I'm sipping old fashioned. Now you tell me what the rapping never had it. I turned it to a habit. I saw it, then I grabbed it.
Then I grabbed it. I've been taking so much time, all these girls tripping like they tabbing. I don't give a fuck, I'm racking. Now I'm out here like it's really, I'm in stadium stacking with the bitch, I'm a chillin' up the nation. I've been off the brain with the triple and the double up entendre. Understand I'm really needing explanations. Seeing what I did, I don't care, cause I'm turning all this music down. I'm making all this spread to occupations. I've been off the brain for a minute, I ain't never really finished, but I'll make a fucking sing, it's LA Fitness.
Whoa, let the shrooms tend to microdose. Tatted on my hand, cause bitch, I love the microphones. Now you tell me that you love me, but it's in my dome. And I tell you bitches that I leave you it alone. Now you talking about money, bitch, I don't give a loan. Now you tell me why you keep on blowing up my phone.
Yeah.
I'm sipping on the liquor, I ain't sipping on Patron.
I might clear a fucking case, but I'm reaching to third base with a bad little bitch on the waist though. I don't give a fuck, I'm mad Cabo with the boy with the vibes. Understand I'm really dining out in Cabo. Playing with your shawty, I don't care what you said this shit before. If she lying to your face, then you got hoes. If I'm burning out in this chitty, I ain't never from a city. I can't take the city of who all my damn bros.
Wait, and what you telling me? That I'm tripping like I just took me some LSD. Now I'm getting lit like I was in some LEDs. You tell me that I got an ice just like BBVs. Now you tell me that you really want a piece of me. I am not a pie and not a piece of cake, but when it comes to rapping, I act like it's a piece of cake. Now tell me that I got the pizza, guess I got the trade.
Going against me, bigger than a piece of cake. That's the biggest fucking life that you made mistake. Understand, get you dripping like a fucking lake. I'ma break the fucking world, doing what I wait. Seeing how I fucking skate. Bad little bitch that I'm taking on a date. Only been real, no, I've never been fake. But I'm shouting out to Drake, yes, I'm shouting out to Drake.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, Sean, man.